Okay, folks. Friday night, gonna try to do a little bit. And we'll pick up where we left off, I think. I may have done some of this off camera. Trying to finish this tank model. Haven't had much time this week to do it. All right. Let's move this stuff out of the way. And this is the Penzer 3J that we've been working on. We put some photo etch stuff on there. I think I did that actually on camera, off camera, and super glued them on there. And let's see, we're there. We needed to. We've done all that. Okay, there's this 37C piece. It looks like it goes all the way on the back. And the headlamps. Okay, so we do the headlamps and 37C. Okay, got it. All right. John Peter, good afternoon. Really? No way. Unless you're in Asia, it's not it's not good afternoon. If you're in the fatherland, it's like 2 in the morning, right? 3 in the morning, maybe. How you doing, John Peter? 37C. Let's grab these pieces. I thought I would have had this thing done by now, but I have not had I've not been able to do much of this week. I'm going to take this wastebasket. We're going to move it a little closer. And some of these models, they give you extra pieces and you're wondering, man, did I miss that? And it's like, nope, it's not included, not shown in this film. So this is 37C, so let's look for the C bracket. That's the B bracket. That's another A bracket. Here's C, 37. Yeah, see, it's got other pieces here, like armored. This looks like this would go on an L. It's got the extra armor on it. I got plenty L's. I don't need any more of those. $37 is 37C. It's this one right here. Oh, here's some folks. Excellent. 209. Nordic. I'm doing great. How are you doing, man? I knew you were feeling terrible last time I was on. 2:09 a.m. What the hell are you doing up? So, I haven't really messed with World War II stuff in about 20 years. And in that time, there is so much stuff that's out that's new that wasn't available back then. I guess 20 years is a long time. But I think of it, 2002. That's not that long ago. Yeah, it is. But I don't think it is. But one of the things that I found out that I did not know was many things I have found out that I did not know. But this particular vehicle has, and we're coming up in the next step, some boxes that would go on it. And I'll show them to you here. There's a question mark here, so there's some options whether or not you want to use these. these almost like storage boxes that go out on the, these two big ones go on the back, and so you could put either this long one or these two big ones on the back, and they also have these other storage ones. Those were specific for the 24th Panzer Division. I came across some article somewhere, it doesn't say it in here, but the 24th Panzer Division that went into Stalingrad, it was one of the two Panzer Divisions that was in Stalingrad. The other one was the 14th. They were actually inside the pocket. Those two tank units. The 24th, which is the symbol of the jumping horse, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, some of those Nazi symbols are more exciting looking than others. That one just doesn't appeal to me. They use these boxes. So I am not going to be putting the boxes on there because I'm not making these tanks unit specific. I'm going to put numbers on them, like, you know, well, here's one. Here's the Panzer IV, and these aren't sealed yet or weathered, so they're darker than they normally would look. Well, you guys are looking at something different. This is almost like a dark blue color. It'll look different when you weather it and dry brush it. But we're gonna have numbers on there. We're gonna have the crosses on there, and that's it. Numbers on the back. Feeling a little better. Voice isn't fully back. Some reason jaw has been bugging me, most likely from mouth breathing. For 8 of the last 14 days, put a lot of strain on my jaw. Man, you don't have to go in for a follow-up, right? I mean, that's surgery. You're done, right? You don't have to. They don't have to dislocate something else, do they? This plate goes back here, and it looks like the angle is like this. Oh, that would be a pain in the ass if that was the case. Because there's a what do you call these things? There's a release, a hole. Well, we'll have to fill that in with filler. And according to this, the little angle part is towards the top. And the way this is, it's got to be like this, facing out. It's got to be like that, facing out. Okay. Back in January. Okay. Well, hopefully it did the desired result. They have to put you under for that? I've been only put under one time and I loved it. I want some of that stuff. Only put under for like 20 minutes for wisdom teeth, and I haven't had any bad teeth experiences other than having braces and them tighten them on too much of them in the 80s, in the early 80s, and them tightening them down too much, and ow. Okay, before I put this on, I need to make sure that everything else is going to fit in place where it's supposed to. And these drawings leave something to be desired. So we're going to set this off to the side. Oh, there's only one headlamp? No, there's two. And it's supposed to fit on this tiny little thing? Great. 3A. Okay, we're going to go to A. C. I'm not that impressed with this model. It's not bad, but it's got, probably the way I would describe it is, it's not a bad model. It is just not for a non-experienced modeler. There's a lot of things here that take patience that more people than a lot of people are not going to have the patience for. Here's the other A. You don't go away. And here's the other one. You know, and models are, you know, the biggest, you know, what are the problems you could have? Pieces have a lot of flash. Instructions aren't clear. Or they just don't fit right. That's pretty much the only problems you can have with it. And I think for the most part, these all fit right. I think the pictures aren't completely clear. And then they have some flash. It's not bad. I would build another one of these, but these parts that are round and stuff are a pain to sand. We don't want to chase this down on the floor. That worked. Put that down carefully. So it's not a Tamiya kit, that's for sure. Okay, so we have two of those that are going to go on, and they have the little parts super glued on. All right, so let's do that first. Good morning, studio. One reason I always say get Tamiya models for beginners, little to no problems. They're my favorite. Or they used to be. When I used to do 1/35th scale. They were just lovely. They pretty much put everybody else to shame. Now, I'm not real familiar with like Dragon or DML as we used to call them. Back in the early 90s, they were DML. And they were just getting started. But, you know, their 1/72nd scale stuff from Dragon cost the same as the 1/35th scale stuff did way back when. Oh, here's probably the biggest gripe I have about this kit. If you have pieces that fit together, like you have, say I have one that's a female part, that normally would be a female part, and one a male, and they would go in and you would glue them. What this company seems to do is they just put a flat end and another flat end, and somehow they're supposed to balance on there. I've never seen that before. Like this is like this part like this, and then this one goes just like this, and they're supposed to magically like hold in place there. It's not even something that fits over it. It's just I've never seen that. And I can deal with it, but I'm just telling you, someone that does not have a lot of patience, it's probably not a good fit for them. And the reason why it's not that much of a problem is this applicator is freaking magic. They didn't have this Tamiya glue when I was doing models. They have the testers one, which I have the testers one. This applicator is truly amazing. I thought the Fujimi kits were nice, and man, they got all kinds of weirdisms in there. Weird looking machine guns that don't look like the real gun, and I don't know how the hell this is going to survive on the game table, so I would imagine on a real tank, one of the first things to go would be these headlights anyways. And sometimes you have to modify, like this whole machine gun in the ball mount, I had to cut it down. It was at least another quarter inch or so, or even more than that longer. I was like, it's way too long. Look at pictures and that just doesn't seem right. I don't care what the instructions say. You like TACOM because their kits require advanced model building skills. TACOM sounds like they're Chinese. Is that right? I don't know about advanced model building skills. On a whim, I decided to buy a Spanish galleon by a company whose name escapes me, but it was a real wooden model kit. That's not for me. I looked at it, I'm like, what? I gotta buy like something that puts the hull bent and no. I don't do that. That's way too much. The funny is the person that could probably do all that bending, they can't paint. They probably can't handle painting all the stuff. I can handle all the painting. I'm a natural at all the painting stuff, but they unfortunately are. Well, I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually fell off the wagon and did order something from that place, and it's supposedly gonna take about a month to get here. And we'll do a review. We'll do an unboxing of it because nobody's actually done an unboxing on them. So the price on them's okay. We'll see how they get made, but yep. I had to. I needed to get something, and they were the only ones that made it, and I couldn't even buy it directly from another company. So it's coming directly from the. You love their World War One tanks. God, all the World War One tanks are ugly as shit. Oh, have you seen? Speaking of World War One tanks, have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front, where they have those Saint whatever the hell, whatever patron saint of fighting in a tank, Saint Chamond or something like that. I forget what the hell those things are. Hey, World War One tanks is not my thing. Those really do look like land battleships. Okay, we're not doing any of these boxes. Man, we got a lot of parts here that are not clear how they go. We're going to leave this plate for last because we want to make sure that it's not supposed to cover something. I got a bad feeling about that. All right, we're going to put the photo etching. Well, we don't have to. The photo etching on the headlights, which we're going to do that after those things are nice and glued tight. We're going to attempt to do an antenna. My plan is to put antennas up on every vehicle. Every vehicle that can have an antenna sticking up in the air, I want to put it up in the air. It's just something else that adds to the vehicle look. Okay, so if we're not going to put that stuff on there, then we can put the fenders now. Okay, this one has the little box on it. That one goes back here, and it's this fender. And then this one is over here, and it's that fender. And supposedly these can attach to here. I don't know about that. Does that fit? like it's supposed to. Well, there's a little step down there, but there's no step down there on this. And I'm not worried about gluing this in and then not being able to darken it, get the paint in there. That's not a problem for me. Okay, at what point does... Let's do it. Let's do a test fit on this. This goes in here. I feel like I need to put this hull down first. Yeah. All right. Okay, is this supposed to fit inside of it? I don't think so. But yet there's a little bit of a gap there. Okay, that needs to fit there, basically. No doubt about it. And we have a good joint there. Okay, there's a little step down there. There's a little step down there. Okay, so it looks like the fenders don't fit in between it. You need to glue this first, then the fenders. All right. It's got to fit on top of it like this. Yep. Okay, here we go. Get all this extra stuff off of me. Saint-Chamond. Are there any tank kits you wish they made for you to build? I wish it were less expensive. I can't think of anything that they don't make. I wish Plastic Soldier Company stuff wasn't so damn difficult to get a hold of. You know, it seems to be like it's difficult to get a hold of kits. Much more so than miniatures. Miniatures, you just go to the supplier, Essex, you go to their website, order the shit from them, you know. I wish it was easier. This is actually something I'm surprised of. I'm wished in this age of the internet that we live in. You know, I used to work at a hobby store in the early 90s. And one of the things that we had, you know, we could mail order things for people if they didn't have them. And we have this rack that all the catalogs of Fujimi and Hasegawa and Tamiya and all the models were there, so you could see what they made, and every year they'd send you a new one. So I understand that people don't have catalogs anymore, but there should be like a website. You know, there should be a website for Hasegawa or whoever, their own website where they would advertise what kits they made. And there doesn't seem to be that. So I don't know how the hell people are supposed to find out. Like, you know, if you want to go in and say, you know, I really enjoy building that model from so-and-so. Let me see what else they make. Fat chance finding an easy way to do that. And it just doesn't make any sense on any level. You know, I understand they don't sell to the public. You got to go through somebody else. But still, you should put on there your wear. At least that was That's what it seemed like I came across. Was a lot of stuff that's like, oh, well, it's hard to find out what they even make. Well, how is that? Like, I wanted to go to Hasegawa, for instance, right? I had some of their Panzer IVs that, like this one. I got this one, it was brand new, and the 98, something like that, in the late 90s, when it was brand new. And I want to say, okay, well, what have they added to that line since I've disappeared for 20 years? And you can't just go to hasegawa.com and see what they make. So that I find that extremely weird. That you can't do that. You have to like search on eBay or search on Amazon or, search and find a vendor. It's just very unuser friendly. The best place is there's a place for, at least at this scale, called On the Way, and it's all dedicated to 172nd and 176 scale armor. And somebody's hobby must be putting all those links and stuff, because there's a treasure trove of information there, but from all the different manufacturers. And actually, more than what models they made, I wish they made more decals. I wish there was a greater variety of decals. I wish there was more like generic German numbers. I don't want, hey, here's a model, here's the decals for this one particular Panzer III that was in the Africa Corps from this one picture. I don't want to build tanks that are already there. I want to build like, plausible things, like make up other numbers. And like, for instance, just having standard white numbers are difficult to come by. I had to buy this kit specifically so I would get these small numbers for these Panzer IIIs, these Panzer IIIFs with this 37. Could be late war as possible. Someone did one. Bronco makes a comment. Several people make a comment. Stuka's one of my favorite planes. Mine too. It's cool as shit looking. It's cool as shit looking. I had two. I had the one that came from MPC, which is the old Airfix one, which would have been a B Stuka, and Rudel's Stuka with a 37 gun pods underneath. That one was I don't know who made it, but it didn't come with a swastika on the tail. Might offend somebody. Well, they were Nazi assholes, but that's what their planes look like. So what are you going to do? Tony, one thing I hate about a lot of model companies is they hamstring you into only a couple options per kit as far as decals goes. Should make a much larger choice. Yeah, well, this kit's actually really good. Did I show you what comes in it? It's actually insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different vehicles. But only one set of crosses. So you got to use it. So I got extra crosses, and I use these small numbers for other stuff. So yeah, I don't want to build a famous vehicle that everybody's seen in a picture. Okay, so while that dries, which shouldn't take too long, what's next? The stuff on the back? Yeah, that's just it. That's why I didn't want to do that yet. We've got these little sub-assemblies that are going to go back there. This is almost like a muffler protector. I can't get to it right now because this rubber band's on there. But this is going to fit like so. Like it's going to be what in the hell? No. What a freaking mess. It doesn't seem right. So part fits back here. Okay, yeah, it's going to fit there. Where the hell does this go? It says to put it on after it's together, so. Okay, these things face down. It's almost like this is assembled wrong. God bless it. Well, that came off easily enough. Looks like it needs to be like this in here. All right, let's see if the other side comes off easily enough. Yeah, like I said, these aren't really user-friendly for new players. I know I've got a shitload more patience than most people. There's people that have more than I do. Perfect. No, it did cut loose a little bit. All right, so with that we've seen, this is going to be like this. And this is going to be in here this way. This way. We're gonna enlargen this a little bit. I may not have the most patience of everyone building things, but I got a lot more patience than most people painting things. So there's patience in me. Just hey, I'm not scared of doing shit wrong. This isn't the hey, watch me do things perfectly. channel. Okay, that's going to go in like that. All right. Okay, and the other one is equivalently on this other side. Okay. Border models make a 35th scale Stuka, supposedly really good. Price tag near 90. Never heard of 1/35th scale planes. I mean, seems like a good idea, honestly. Wingspan on that's got to be like a couple feet. Do Chinese kits come with crooked spiders on them? Or are they sensitive to that? Crooked spider decals. It's going to be a little bit of a gap there, but I don't see a way of getting around that. Doesn't really bother me that much. Okay, let's go to the back. This is going to fit towards the top. Let's close this up so we don't have a spill problem. This is going to be all the way up here. I really like about this glue is if you've got a tight fit, you can put it in where it needs to go and then just run it. Well, why would I put this here and block all this beautiful detail that I put? Because these little smoke candles and shit there. That's stupid to block that. Go and put detail and then handle. Well, if that goes there, underneath there, that plate fits on top of it, okay? And then where does the thing underneath go? I need to have a back view of this complete. All right, so this is going to be something like so. Oh, wait a second. No, the other way. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit in there like it should, but it's like that, and then this goes in This just doesn't make any sense. This just doesn't make any sense. All right. What glasses do I have on? I don't have any contacts in at all, so. All right. Let's see if we got a rear view of a Panzer III. Ah, you bastards. Okay, that's an L. There's the J. The fuel filler is towards the top. Tell me shit, huh? Where's that model of that L? Or that die cast of the L? And tell you the shit. How about the M? Well, the M's totally different. What else do I have? I don't have any earlier ones. Other than these, and these have a different. Those aren't covered by anything. Okay, it's literally having this thing go over this. It doesn't make any sense. This doesn't fit anywhere it would fit. I know it doesn't go like that. We'll leave the fucker off. I don't give a shit. Okay. And that is towards the top. Okay, so this definitely goes in like this. And somehow they think this goes underneath it? Maybe it's supposed to go in like this. And it fits there, but it doesn't fit on the other side. Maybe you gotta move those two mufflers closer together. Well, considering there was no lines for them where they went. Alright, let's. Jeez, what a pain in the ass. How far forward, how much farther does it have to go in? Maybe quite a bit, actually. Alright, let's try this. We'll give it a shot. Luckily it's somewhere it's not really going to be seen. Let's try to loosen this up. I don't know if I could even do that. I know? Shit, we gotta loosen this up here too. I'll be damned. Come on. Get off me. I'm gonna put these as close as we can together. Okay, we'll do the same on this end. Hallelujah. I wouldn't have been able to do this shit 20 years ago. $20 years ago, I wouldn't have been doing this with my contacts out. So I don't need to do this with contacts. I did everything with 20/20 vision, corrected. But when you take them out, you have even more attention to detail. Let's push these as close together as they'll go. Now, there should be enough space for these sons of bitches. Straighten that out. Come on. To go there. Straighten this out. The difficulty level on this just went up to a 5 as far as I'm concerned. I'll be able to kick this thing's ass, but man, this is not for the... This is not for the noob. Okay. Let's go with that. And let's push these two jokers. Over. Okay, that one definitely fits there. Where does this one fit? All right, we're having some issues with this thing. Let's open this up a little bit. I think that's what the problem is. It's not open enough. All right. And this one goes just like this. Right, that goes there. Right. Where does this one go? This one needs to go inside of this. We're going to get this. It's just a matter of tinkering with it. And none of these parts have a little hole that says, hey, this goes right in there. No guide holes. Okay, I think we got it where it needs to be. Okay. That's going to go there. And then this will go over this here. Right? Yes. I'm not sure I can get this to fit. Like it's supposed to. Without maybe cutting a piece off that piece. This side's pretty good here. Let's make sure this stuff's straightened. I can make it fit in there, but there's going to be a little bit of a gap on the sides. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's get us a rubber band. Wingspan's 14 inches. We're making Panzer III. It's a Panzer III J. I did a kit review on this channel, and I don't know if I'll build another one of these. These are they got plenty of details. I don't care what they say. You don't put the headlamps on until all this shit's done. When you get this close in space, and we'll weld this where it needs to go, because this is that's about where that one needs to be. It's this that is a freaking problem. Remember, we're going to have this little plate that's going to sit on top of it. Unfortunately, it has the. Let's just slide that where it goes. It's going to go like this. Actually, it's not bad. There's just a little gap on the sides. I don't mind putting these things together if they go together okay. This one seems to not go together okay. It's going to be like that. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap here that's showing. A little bit of a gap there. I can fill that in if I feel like it. I'm not going to commit to filling things in at this point. I actually went and looked for liquid green stuff, and well, I've got some white. Who knows, the fender might cover that actually. This is the front, so the fender's going to actually go like... Well, it doesn't fit there? Well, that's a problem, if that's the case. Okay, this actually fit all right like that. I'm not even going to try to fill it. Okay, so let's pull the fender out. Actually, I might be better off just putting them in It's a snap kit. Put everything in place. The one thing that I was saying is that I like putting the antennas deployed. It makes it look like there's something going on. Yeah, see, one of these headlamps already broke off. We're not going to attempt to even glue it back on until we're done with this. Same thing, this one's all like limp, falling off. I'm not thrilled on the fit on this. A lot of this stuff just isn't marked. Like there's no like line-up holes, and it's better than that Russian kit I have of that JSU, but okay, that can pretty safely glue down there. This is going to be one of those, hey, I want to move this vehicle. Oh, I'll move it for you. Don't be touching the vehicle. Okay, it's underneath the sponson. Not the sponson, but the... Well, I can't recommend these because just about anybody's going to have less patience than I am, and this has been a pain in the ass. Well, like I said, I had gotten this specifically for the decals. All right, well, let's do what we can do so far, which is we're going to glue this into place. We're going to glue this into place. And we're going to glue this into place. The road wheels are beautiful. I mean, these are like the nicest running gear I've ever seen. Other stuff, not so great. Okay. Now, I've actually never put something together with the, like holding this in place and then, get this a little longer. I commandeered my daughter's rubber bands for her hair. No, I don't need any because I'm not pro man bun. Matter of fact, I'm due for a haircut tomorrow. Okay. My mom always likes to give me shit. Why you cut your hair so short? I said, you rather me be a long-haired hippie? Silence. I mean, if that's your thing, that's cool. It's not my thing. I don't like it touching my ears. It drives me crazy. Way too hot here. Ooh, watch that machine gun mount. This is actually a lot easier than this would have been 20 years ago. I just got tools and more patience than I would have had back then. Look up, I'll tell you, only I've ever played 5th edition, you'll experience major culture shock. BECMI is a real deal. What the hell is BCEMI? $5 sets put on in the 80s by Run Alongside Dungeons and Dragons. Oh. Oh yeah, the box set things. It came with those crappy dice. Keep on the Borderlands. Yeah, baby. Of course, I haven't played that since 1985. The problem I never liked about role-playing games is it's very difficult to find somebody who can run them correctly because, you know, you have to be, you don't have to be fair. You just need to, you know, observe rules. It'd be like playing a war game and, you know, allowing yourself to cheat all the time. What's the point in that? I don't mind fantasy stuff as long as it's more of a tactical battle situation. I don't want to. I'm not interested in the role play stuff. But, you know. One of these is broken. Oh, good. It's the one that sat properly. Excellent. All right. Can I snake this thing underneath here? Or I'm going to have to take this off. I'm going to have to take this off and... You know what? This is the part that's difficult at gripping. Let's leave this back part on. And we're going to take this off. Okay, which we're going to end up putting on. And see if we can snake this underneath here. I bet I can. So this is a lot more delicate than if it was white metal, but it's also a lot easier to drill holes in, etc., 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 that you can do with this. That white metal is just a pain in the ass to deal with sometimes. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to do. That's where we wanted it. All right. The tricky part is getting this underneath here. I'm going to end up losing that channel that antenna sits on, which it won't be sitting on it because the antenna will be upright on this vehicle. All right, we need to get closer. Is this what's preventing it getting closer? I believe it is. All right, let's remove that. All right, we need to get underneath that. So that we don't have this ugly gap right there. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Wish that shovel wasn't in the way. Let's close this up before something wrong goes with that. It fit okay here. Let's try this. Let's take that off for a second. Let's try this. We're going to come in here and we're going to remove this plastic here so it fits underneath it. And we're going to remove this. Let's take some of this off right here. Now we'll try getting it in there. Weird to have to test fit things. Okay, that's not going to do it. All right. Then the next step is, and I need to do this somewhere it's supported so we don't have a problem. So we need to get something that is about the same height as that. Let's support it. Let's take two of these things. Might only need one. There we go. And then let's just remove that part right there. That should do it. I'm just going to take the whole thing off to there. Okay. Now it'll fit in. That or we'll let the Russians capture it. Mm-hmm. Sure enough. Okay, perfect. All right, now let's put a couple more Bubba Rams on here. That one's a bit tight. Now we're going to put it over this because we want to be able to glue this on there as well. And can we get underneath there? We can. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to put one up front here. We use the tight one there. We lose the other headlight. Yep. It's just a matter of time. And you can't. That's too tight. You can't tighten that at that point. I don't want that machine gun barrel to be messed up. All right, now we should be good with that. You've done that a few times. What, cut things out? Yeah. It's actually, that part is a lot easier to deal with than white metal. Because white metal is, you either have to use epoxy, messy, or super glue, also messy. And this stuff is just marvelous. Now, a couple things that are actually pretty nice on this is none of the pieces seem to be warped. Sometimes you get these fenders and they're like bent up or bent down, or none of that is. You've got these. You've got the piece that all the running wheel all the running gear goes on, it's bent up, and you have to try to bend it back, and you didn't have to do any of that stuff on there. Now there's a little bit of a gap here. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that at this point. Yeah, we'll just leave that be. It's not like it's gonna be broken loose. All right, we don't need to use a ton here. One part goes there, one part goes here. Snake this underneath. It's getting pushed away. All right, so let's move where this is in a spot where it's not applying any pressure on this channel. Well, it's got really good detail. You know, it's got some things that are annoying, like the fact that you have this round release thing there. It takes much longer to build than it should. And here we're going to actually drill this antenna. And I'm going to use a piece of sprue there I'll do that afterwards. I'm going to leave the headlights until the very end, till we're done with this. We don't need to clip them again. Bless. Usually a bless you continues me sneezing. The other thing that was kind of surprising on this, the whole bottom is solid, and I really had to sand this to get it to go in there. It's kind of a difficult thing. Let's see what we got here. Don't want to clip any of these little pieces off. Yeah. Fits okay now. Man, the barrel looks really short. And I just started thinking about it. It's a .42 caliber weapon. And then when you look at it that way, that's pretty short. That's actually pretty short. So, okay, we need to do the cupola. And that's what I couldn't find my Panzer commanders. I couldn't find my Panzer commanders, but to see if there's a guy that fits in there nicely. I mean, I want a good one. I want a War Games Foundry guy. And they were in a little bag by themselves. That's not them. I thought they were up here, but this is going to be a pain in the ass. This thing, this Martyr 2. Library got a book in for me today. The book 1 of the Lankhmar series from Fritz Lieber. Ever heard of it? Lankhmar. Yeah, I had. Is that the one that they made the battle? I had a module that had like almost like a battle system for it. Sounded like Lankhmar. Had like units and stuff like that. Pretty cool, but I got it too young when I didn't have the mentality to learn a new game. This is Americans. This is American tank crewmen. Let me just just make sure that they're not dumped in there with them. They shouldn't be. I saw them, now I don't see them. Here they are in this bag. And that's the War Games Foundry American guys. See all the Americanos in here. These are the Brits. Japanese. Got Mario 2. Just missing parts, but I'm going to have to make some of them out of styrene. No big deal. Sure I'll be able to do it. Okay, here is some Panzer crewmen, which makes me think that they're around here somewhere. They're not. Look at this. It's a T-35, but it's an HO scale. Premo, made in Russia. I may actually paint these up and just say F it, because I've got a couple of T-28s as well. One with a round, one with a square. I may paint those up anyways. I know they're significantly under scale, but it's either that or throw them away. I think painting them up is a much better solution than throwing them away. In Soviet Russia, model kit builds you. In Soviet Russia, you are under scale. In Soviet Russia, you too large for tank. These are nice. This is like one piece. Everything swivels. The stuff comes off. Dusty as all get out. I got a couple scenarios that have a T-35 in them, actually. From skirmish campaigns. In Soviet Russia, you underscale. Alright, I don't think any of these guys... I think the waist on all these guys is way too big to fit in the turret. Well, first of all, there's only one. He's just too big. I might as well just make it with the turret shut. And as it is, it doesn't come with a two-piece thing. I'd have to cut it. I had other War Games Foundry guys. And I'm sure they're here somewhere. As soon as I stop looking for them, they're going to turn up. But I think if their waists are too big, I'm not going to be able to use them. I don't really want to do a massive amount of conversion of them. Most of the time in the scales that were, I mean, you're an actual scale, you wouldn't be unbuttoned anyways. All right, we're just gonna glue this thing shut, and that's one step that we avoided, and that is piece. Well, where the hell is it? And we're not putting these boxes for Stalingrad. I don't want it to be, oh, that's one from the 24th Panzer Division. Well, it may be, or it may not be. I'll be right back. Want to build a 135th scale Tecom SMK tank. I think they only made one of them. And the other thing that's weird, right? The SU-100Y. I think there was 3 weird vehicles. The SMK is definitely the best looking of the 3. The other one is an SU-100Y, and there was something else that just was ugly as shit. Okay, that settles it. We're gonna make this thing with the turret closed. Yeah, it even has the one that's not the split hatch. Which has got to be for the N. I think the N was the one that did not have a split hatch. The M has a split hatch. Wasn't a fan of the N. Always hated it. Don't like how it looks, and it's just the same gun that many early Panzer IVs had. Why do we need to regress to that? I mean, I know that they used it in service and it was for additional HE support, but not a fan. Now, here's one of the things we need to watch out for, because this thing is wrong. It shows in this picture, it shows like it goes sideways, so it would like flip forward. If I'm in there, it flips sideways. Now, it may be one of those things that could actually rotate and go whichever way. One of them there's a tiny little flap up here. I don't know whether that's a pistol port or something like that. Let's make sure we get that oriented in the correct direction. So let's see if there's a line drawing of the top of one of these things, or an actual picture is even better. I think it's going to go towards the front. Let's confirm that before we... No, here it's towards the back. Well, that's how we're going to put it on there. So we're going to put this, we got to do a better job than that. We got to do a better job than that. Yeah, this thing doesn't come split, so I'd have to split it, and I'm not opposed to doing that. Just, I don't know if I want to get a figure that's that narrow, and I've got plastic figures. I don't want to use one of the plastic figures bad enough to. That's okay. They only built one of the tank. I only want to build one model of the tank. Well, then you got to find what paint scheme they did. And there's a book I came across recently that it was made by the folks at MiG. And it was like paint schemes of the tanks, like tanks at Stalingrad or something like that. You can look it up. It's on Amazon. Like a $38 book, and it's got full color plates, and it gives you several examples of them. One of the vehicles they have on there is Dicker Max. Now, Dicker Max is a modified, don't quote me on this because I'm not an expert on Dicker Max. Dicker Max is an experimental tank destroyer that used a 105 millimeter field gun with a muzzle brake on it, and they only made 2 of them. One of them, apparently, some of its ammunition caught fire or something and got destroyed, and the other one was around Stalingrad. So this shows you actually one of only 2 vehicles ever made. Then you got to be real specific. You got to paint it exactly like the vehicle, you know. Old Dicker Max. Not to be confused with a Diana, which I don't think there are very many Dianas either, but the Dianas had a Russian 76 in them. Okay, we're putting this guy like this. Thank you. Jumping, fill in the blank. This needs to fit like this, but it doesn't seem like it's sitting in there very well. I wonder why. Do we have still more flash we need to deal with? Well, there's that. So let's take care of that a little bit. Not very much. This actually has pretty nice detail on it. For the most part, pretty much most German vehicles look pretty cool. There are exceptions. Of course, that's opinion. I think that Martyr 2 I have is definitely one of them. An ugly vehicle. An ugly and not cool vehicle, because you can make an argument that a Stuka is ugly. I don't think so. I think they're wicked looking. But I think that's going to be good enough for me. We're going to... most German vehicles, I think, are relatively attractive. For the most part. You know, ultimately it doesn't matter, but I think the little flamingo flamethrower tanks are ugly as shit. Panzer 1 Command ugly. Absolutely. It's ugly as shit. Doesn't mean I wouldn't build one. And it's relative. Somebody might like those things. German tanks that don't have the little storage thing on the back, I think are ugly. I mean, if it's a vehicle that never had it, like some of the Panzer IIs, doesn't matter, you know, then you're okay. But like a Panzer IV without that just looks silly. Just looks like something's missing. But you asked the question, so you knew it was ugly. Yeah, those are particularly ugly. But most vehicles aren't. I don't think Shermans are ugly. They're just kind of, you know, they need to be dressed up with different stuff. I mean, some of them look pretty cool. Okay. But I'd say most vehicles are attractive. Even most Russian vehicles. I think most Russian vehicles are attractive. I mean, sure, there's some ugly though. Even something like a T-26. I wouldn't even say a T-26 is ugly. You know, unless it's got those two turrets. Shermans are great for what they are, mass-produced armor. I don't have a problem with Sherman. at all. I don't have a problem with the Sherman. I think it was a good vehicle. It was easy to repair. You know, the biggest problem with the Sherman is they didn't come in like majorly different paint schemes, you know. But you can gypsy caravan them up with all kinds of different stuff, that equipment and stuff like that. Give them nicknames. I don't think they were a bad vehicle from crew comfort level. I think they were very reliable. You know, for a tank. And you know, sure they blow up, but you know, when you're fighting super tanks, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. But if you look at it from a crew standpoint, and survivability, the driver and the assistant driver always had, on a Sherman, always had their own hatch. Always. You know, which is handy. You know, they're crew exposed frequently, spotting things. Easy to get in and out, easy to, you know, bail out. The Panzer III, which is a main battle tank when it was designed, you know, you've got the commander's hatch here, and you've got these side hatches for the driver and the gunner. The other two guys have to get out through one of those three hatches, which somebody is in the way of them. Now, they do have these side escape hatches down here that I've heard are a mixed bag, because sometimes there's ammo and shit in the way, or, you know, you don't want to get out of one of them while the vehicle's moving, that's for sure. You're going to end up, you know, turned into a sausage. But, you know, these were good for crew comfort other than if you had to bail out. Panzer IV is better, because the Panzer IV, you've got the driver and the assistant have their own hatch. But you got to believe that this has got to be a hell of a weak point. That's why eventually they got rid of some of these other pieces on here, like these side periscopes and stuff. Just anything you add to the side armor is going to create a weak point that you could end up getting a critical hit or something like that by an unusual hit. Early war British cruiser tanks were lovely tanks. I agree. I totally agree with you. Although 813s were a little weird in that they had no detail on their road wheels. It was very strange. It was almost like you guys just didn't want any and put any details to them at all, huh? But other than that, I think they were pretty interesting looking. They weren't super reliable, but a lot of things weren't super reliable. I mean, the Panthers weren't super reliable, and everybody likes them. What am I missing? Just the photo etch on the headlamps, which will have to wait. And that's it. Now, do I have a picture of this? As I feel like I need to show you guys something. I do have a picture of it, but it's on my phone. Let's see if I can... How in the hell do I access that? Now, let's move this guy off to the side. Now, we have a mixture of scales here, because this is 1/72nd. This is also 1/72nd. But these other Panzer IIIs are 1/76. So you're comparing apples to oranges, but, you know, they're war game models, so, you know, you shouldn't fret about it too much. Well, That's going to be really difficult to get off the phone. But anyhow, there is the Panzer IV that I rescued that was painted, not much different than this color. Oh, that's a horrible sound. This is how far we've gotten. We decided to do the brown camo on it, and you put some decals for the numbers, which I'm opposed to them going over the periscopes, but the periscopes don't even look like what they're supposed to be, so I don't mind going over them. But this thing is, I think the brown camouflage turned out okay. It's hard to tell right now because it hasn't been flat coated nor dry brushed, but yeah, that's what we're going to work on in the morning. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to finish this evening taking a couple of these. Is this the one that we're going to use? Yeah, we're going to use the same base. We're going to go ahead and paint a couple of these so that we can base some of these vehicles. I have 4 of these, so that's enough for the Panzer IV long and this guy and the 2 Panzer IIIs. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll end the evening with that because I can't really glue them on there if this shit's wet. So you may have a new painting project early Sunday morning if you win a bid on some miniatures. Oh God, I don't bid on stuff. I snipe. I snipe or I don't even bother. That Panzer seems drunk. Yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about. Okay. Let's get chocolate brown and the little tool here. And let's put this back where it was. Oh, it fell over? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, this is going to turn out pretty good, considering what this looked like before. It was basically horrible. Horrible looking. And I just paint directly on here. I'm going to paint in the morning, but it's probably going to be a short painting session. I got to take my car in for a PM. Preventative maintenance, also known as an oil change. But Sunday, we'll have a full session on Sunday. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to make sure we cover all that stuff. So I noticed the other day that there was a Stalingrad movie I had never seen. There's apparently some, I think it's a Russian production, which, I'm always skeptical. Saw some battle scenes. I just need to find it. I think it was on Amazon for a while and it's not on there anymore, so I may have to wait. But what's unique about it is the guy that plays the officer in the 1993 Stalingrad, the guy that plays LT in that, he's in this one as well. So, and judging by his rank, he's like a Hauptmann. There's a captain in this one, looks like. He got promoted after, I think this movie was like 2014 or 16 or something like that. I don't know. It looks like it got some pretty good battle scenes in it. At some point, we're going to have to redo all the stands on my 20s because I got all the magnets for them and I want to do that, make them look equivalent. Found that Hell on Wheels on the Roku channel. My Roku box is free, so I've been watching that. What is Hell on Wheels? I mean, other than, is it the second Panzer Division? Second Armor Division, U.S. Second Armor Division, I think was Hell on Wheels. Only thing I hate about the U.S. tanks in World War II is their Armor Division symbols sucked. Just absolutely sucked. The U.S. Infantry Division symbols were fine. The Armor Division was just like, let's just make a triangle, we'll put some primary colors on there, and then we'll put a digit of what it is on there. Like, that's lame. Sorry. Oh, Transcontinental Railroad. Be more interesting if it was on the Second Armor Division. Just saying. Second Armor Division in Normandy used some black camouflage on top of the olive drab. I didn't do that because they didn't use the white stars with it. And so, yeah, I get this cool camouflage to do on American tanks, but then I don't get to put any stars on them. What's the point? Yeah, connect the dots, something like that. Well, I'm probably using too much, but I gotta cut corners. I gotta speed some things up. I'm not willing to speed, doing a shitty job painting, so I gotta cut corners somewhere else. Oh, yeah, we're just doing these gray ones for now. Just for now. We got another Panzer IV F2. Did you know that Panzer IV F2 was only called Panzer IV F2 from May 42 to August 42? After that, it was just a G. It would just be an early G. Didn't know that. Yeah, they had them on the side sometimes. Not Second Armor Division. Second Armor Division had that, or at least some of the tanks in Normandy had black camo, almost like airbrushed on there. It looked really, really good. But I guess I could just say F it and put them on there anyways. But the Shermans I have so far do not have camouflage. I don't want to commit to them being for a certain unit. As much as I want to put unit markings on them, I want the flexibility of being able, not being for specific units. Just like I don't want to make this Panzer III J for 24th Panzer Division in Stalingrad. Or on the way to Stalingrad, either. So, yeah, the road wheels are really, really nice. Really, really nice road wheels. And there are some photo etch hooks. I don't know where the hell they go. I'm not putting a photo etch hooks on there. That's nonsense. I don't need that shit right now. If I did that, I may save them and put them. If I need to put like a crooked spider flag on there, I might want to put them somewhere and then tie that thing down. But we won't do it on this one. We gotta do that on a G or something like that, or a Czech 38. Sometime that you definitely know that the Russian Air Force is down. You know. All right, so we're gonna let these things dry, and then we'll be back in the morning to pick up where we left off. And I want to glue this thing and then dry brush it when it's glued down. So anyhow, I'll pull the picture off my phone and put it in the corner so you can see how this has changed a lot. But you know, there's lots of things that are inaccurate about this model. Look at the back of the cupola is totally like flat. It's just totally weird. But you know, it's an old kit, probably from the early 70s. And you know, I'm curious to see how that brown camo is going to look. It looks good here. It looks a little different for me than it does for you guys, but I think it turned out how I wanted it to turn out. Well, what my intention was. No airbrushing. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by, folks, and